da.
Welcome to Draw for Initiative. This is Tina, I'm Sarah. We are artists and board gamers, and today we paint a very special painting of Mechs versus Minions. If you're really good in math and counting, you might have an inkling that this is the 50th episode. If not, let me tell you, this is the 50th episode. Hence, we have a very special way of painting this time around. And you, my dear, are the one to tell the folks what they can expect.
Well, we had some very special plans for this episode. First thing, you already saw which game we had. It's an awesome game, and, well, it deserved to be on the 50th episode.
Yes.
Not that there aren't any other games that didn't deserve it as well, but it's a good game. It's a really good game.
Dig.
Shut up. But we've also one more thing. If you were following our series, you know that we also use a different technique every 10th episode. And this time we went down my alley with digital painting.
And it's gonna be very interesting, and you can find out how it went.
And there we go!
Yay!
It might be that we are extremely goofy.
Nah, ain't gonna happen. Never!
We might be giddy. Sorry about that, but not really sorry about that. So, digital art, my dear, this is your part.
These are my 15 minutes of this show.
Of fame! Yes. Tell me. I'm absolutely incredibly curious.
I mean,
digital
of
art.
course, we didn't share a single word about how we felt with this. And you have no idea.
I mean, you gave me the broad strokes, but I'm pun not intended.
Nope.
But I'm curious on, here's a bit of a background story for you in the audience. I gave her a Wacom tablet, which I have kind of as a backup, so that she would have enough time to practice and feel comfortable and just try things at home. And then we worked on my computer here, and I'm working with a Cintiq, which is kind of different because it has a screen, so you don't draw blind or look in another direction when you towards the screen when you paint or draw. So that was the first difference. So but I wonder, you said something like it's quite different to paint on a Cintiq versus Wacom.
Yeah.
How big are the differences between traditional painting on paper or canvas and any of these digital devices?
Like I said, I said it in the intro, it's really right up my alley. Because you can really just paint without worrying, because you can easily erase everything, or go a step back, or if a line doesn't fit, no, don't you worry. Or if you did something wrong in a layer really down below, well, no problem, you can still touch it. That's a thing I really, really did enjoy. So you have absolute control about everything you do, except you don't want it. Then you can just use certain filters on certain areas of stuff, where you just, randomize some of the algorithms, and well, there's that. You can get different, optics, I guess, or can make it seem like certain kinds of
of certain styles and effects and something like that. Okay,
exactly. That's so I really appreciate it, but on the other side, what's missing is, of course, you don't have the original piece per se, but you have just a file on your PC, which is. It has a different feel to it. I'll admit that. It's probably like the discussion between ebook readers and normal book readers. I use both. I'm a fan of both, so I can I enjoy both kinds of mediums. I'd say original or analog, traditional, and also I appreciate the good parts of the digital art. It's really a nice feel.
I mean, it's very ecological. You said earlier you can work on layers later, which is, I think, the one thing that benefits you most, or is your advantage there,
Yep.
that you don't have to think like from beginning to end when you create a piece, but you can
need to plan ahead so far.
change something on a lower layer and have the color layer from the sketching layer and the ink layer, and they cannot.
The only thing
touch
you need to know in advance is what do you want to do on which layer.
Exactly.
So if you want to have certain filters on a certain part, you should have all that parts in one layer. And yeah.
Exactly.
That's the only thing you need to plan ahead.
But I mean, you wouldn't need masking fluid here. All the things that you struggle with in the traditional painting, you don't have them here. So I was not surprised that you liked digital art. But I was, well, not surprised, but I'm just very joyous and happy that you enjoyed it that much.
Yeah.
Because it can be a little bit overwhelming with a new program and not having a lot of time to try something or play with it beforehand. But I thought you managed really well.
Oh, thank you.
Also, well, I personally think that this program is very intuitive. So,
it is. Very much so.
I didn't have to cut a lot of looking things up on the internet, how it works kind of thing. So post-edit, Sarah says here, I didn't have to cut a lot for us looking, where do I find that little thing that I want to do?
Yeah.
So I'd say it was a success.
How did you feel?
Well, I did use it before, so I was kind of used to it. It was actually really nice that I could just come in and color. It felt like a coloring book.
Oh my gosh.
It's like coloring book feeling. But
I'm just so happy because Sarah always makes sure to let me know she's not a digital artist. So I'm so happy I could make this more joyous for you.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, we can play to our advantages or our little quirks with these kinds of projects. You enjoying the line work so much. Daniel gave us the pun for the story.
We should not forget to mention that. It's really thank you very much, Daniel, for your idea here.
Yes, so it's a big collaboration and it pays off. I mean, we painted for, let me look it up, the exact minute number, but it should be 10 hours, yes, 24 minutes, 10 hours, 24 minutes, the both of us together. And I enjoyed it quite a lot. It's not going to be my bread and butter daily thing, but once in a while, if we have a really good joke.
I can get that, but you know, it's not a thing you would do on a daily basis. Knowing you, I'm already aware of that, but I can also feel you there because I might be missing something if I would just switch to digital art, except for the reason that it's like really expensive to get it and have the right computer for it. But also, I would be missing some of the random stuff that happens with for example, with watercolor, and you know, there are things you cannot reproduce on a computer.
You will miss the happy accidents. That's true. But on the other hand, if you have a very small apartment, this is very very tiny. You can art on big pieces on a very tiny surface, and you don't have to worry about storage or. I mean, art supplies, traditional art supplies are very expensive as well. So depending on how long you plan to paint, accumulating all of that cost can definitely stand against a digital device, and you will go maybe for that. So I can see the benefit of both, but I like that we have the opportunity to use the digital art. Say we have a super funny joke at the game table and we have a comic strip in our brain, we want to paint it, ta-da, we can do that.
Yes.
So I like it for that, but I wouldn't use it as my major medium. So
interesting thought on the side is that we really needed a lot more time than the average time we spend on our other pieces.
That I know why that is for my part. I wonder if you have an idea why that is on your part.
Well, for one reason, it's like 5 pictures in one.
That's true.
And I spent a lot of time correcting what I did because, well, like you said, there isn't the happy accidents, and you always see me here if you're putting some attention. You always see me here struggling with the circles in some points, and I'm always correcting them if they don't look circly. That's a word now.
Yeah.
And
Technical term.
I didn't make it up at all.
No.
So, but I didn't want to use straight circles for that because I like the hand-drawn feeling that it got, and if it just would look too clean if I did it on this part only. So yeah.
But I feel like when I watch during editing, when I watch the quote unquote normal videos, I see you correcting quite a bit. But I guess at one point you just say, "Oh God, well then that's that with the traditional." But you can play here, and that takes you longer.
It looks cleaner from the start.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You don't see the line getting thicker or less thick, especially with the pen I used, which in hindsight I wouldn't use again for this thing. I mean, you did really well. I was, beforehand when we switched to Sarah, I was like, okay, I want to correct some things in the end. Please don't edit it yet. And she was like, okay. And then I saw the finished the thing after she finished, and I was like, okay, you can go ahead.
You can go ahead.
It's all right. So I was really happy that you did the coloring. And
I actually like the imperfect and when I started, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna paint like I normally do with digital paint, and then I erase around the ink lines that you made and have it a clean color. And I did not do it because you had some unclean lines and I have some unclean lines, and it kind of gave it, I don't want to say movement, but like character. So I said, okay, I'm not gonna do what I would actually do. Okay,
so we both changed our plans about that. All right,
totally. That was it. Okay.
Brain sync, anyone?
Yeah. Do you in the audience still doubt that we have a Bluetooth brain sync going on here that is able to communicate like miles apart? So yeah. Anyway, but I approached it very much like I do coloring in coloring books, like 3 colors that layer per item, per tone. So that is maybe why I felt so much like this is a color book page that I did, and not that I painted a comic with you.
Guys, you know what? That's a huge compliment from my side. I'm really happy right now.
Cool, she's happy. I made her happy.
So yeah.
But I giggled all the time.
Oh, I was hoping you would do that. I wasn't here when you painted, but yeah.
You were exhausted at home after spending hours and hours with us rock banding and painting and gaming.
That's like my third job now, having the rock band. Right?
Yeah.
But there's worse jobs, I suppose.
I hope so. But anyway, I just enjoyed this little side project, and I giggled. I giggled a lot.
Also, painting that bomb thing. Meh.
I was not envious of that.
Meh.
But it's Mechs. It's not mess versus mess.
It's mess. Mess.
It's a mess.
I'm a mess, Ma. Sorry.
No.
Not sorry.
No, not sorry. Oh, yeah. Also, guys, do you see somewhere here and there, you have to look carefully. She left me tiny little notes on the sketch layer.
Yeah, it's more like instructions.
No, there was a heart.
Yeah, so it's note. All right.
Yeah, there was a note.
The heart is what makes it a note instead of an instruction. I love that. I dig that. All right.
And you always said please, so it was not.
Well, you have to be polite to your superiors.
I thought you were saying to your underlings, and then I would have been fronted. Oh no. Oh gosh. But yeah. I had a lot of fun. And can you imagine, I only used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 colors.
Oh, really?
7 colors and darkening them each color by 3, so that's 24 shades.
So did you get along well with the color thingy? When I was painting, we were not really familiar with how the color switching works. So
yeah,
I was wondering.
You know, I wanted to be a good quote-unquote boss, so I updated my system before we did approach this project, and I updated the program. So it was meanwhile I had Manga Studio before. It was meanwhile merged with a comic studio or something. That's just tea. We're not peeing.
I'm sorry, guys.
So the color wheel thingamajig was not where it was supposed to be, so we had to look around quite a bit, and we're not familiar with it, but once we found it, it was exactly the same as I was used to in Manga Studio. So
yeah. All right.
I was not
so we
struggling
weren't frustrated.
at all.
That's good to hear.
No, and I just used 2 different brushes, a dense watercolor and a blurry edge watercolor, and that's that. So I was a bit more struggling with the balloon tails of the speech bubbles later on, because that definitely changed in comparison to Manga Studio. But that was one thing where I asked the super smart internet, where do I find that? And they answered, and I was not getting to the frustration level.
Just a hint here, we're getting to Sarah's part, which for me is much more interesting.
Yeah, because you haven't seen it.
Yeah! But yeah, interesting. Would you change something if you could? Or would you do something different if you had in your approach?
Let me think. Well, there was one panel number 3. You had said dramatic background.
Yes.
And I didn't make a dramatic background because I struggled to find a dramatic background that would fit. A green one, because I wanted it all to be the same green, like playboards colored background. So I made him yell dramatic with the lines, but I couldn't, for the life of me, I couldn't figure out a dramatic backdrop that would fit for that panel.
Oh, you know,
would I find one? I would change that.
From my feeling, it would have been fine if you didn't use a green one, because, you know, I read a lot of comics and manga in my time, and it's not unusual to change the background at all. So
I know. But
it's all right. But I really like what you did there. And, you know, I was already, when I had a little peek, when I went home, I was already like, oh my gosh.
It's got to be colorful.
I'm so happy right now.
But yeah, that would be if I would get a great idea for that dramatic background. I kind of switched the quote unquote dramatic to the 5th panel though, with the explosion.
Yeah, that's true.
But I couldn't find something inspiring for the third one.
There would be something for the 3rd one, like doing flashes in the background.
Exactly, and
painting in black and having bright flashes. And
exactly, and the only thing I did was the white speaking, yelling lines, but I couldn't come up with something that wouldn't get lost in the background. But if I would find something, I would definitely change that.
So
but other than that, no, actually...
Would you have me change something?
Not really.
No?
I mean, all the things that I added, like the floor where the peeps actually stand on, that I would have done that with color anyway. Would there have been lines that said, oh, this is the ground? I would have just enhanced them other than putting them in all together.
Okay.
So...
maybe a little more background would have been a thing if I.
But there's not really something on the board either.
Well,
right?
I could have.
Kind of grassy.
For example, I could have done more of the characters in the background fighting.
Oh,
or I could have put the school back there, because that level was actually about protecting a school.
Don't even. Don't.
We still love this level. I'm really honest about this right now.
Well, you haven't played it 5 times to get it done and over
the first
with.
2 times were quite enough for my taste. Thank you.
Now imagine, that was date night. That was a date night that we played and played and played just to get that level done for Sunday to open up with a new level for all of us. So yeah, but no, I wouldn't change anything because I'm very comfortable and used with your way you do the line work because we have done it before.
Yeah. So it's not much different from that.
No, it's not. It's actually... Yeah, it's cleaner.
Yeah,
of course, because you don't see
it also
the
felt
erasing
like your painting is cleaner.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
it's more like this would be a marker painting with me if I would
very
paint
controlled
with, ink markers or something. Yeah, but not the watercolor, of course. Although I'm using watercolor brushes there, so that is one thing that digital art is really struggling with, or the programs are not great. Trying to have the painting look like real watercolor.
Well, emulating that would probably need a lot of randomizing, which needs a lot of calculating power, processing power. I'm sorry. So yeah, that's not easy to do.
No, I know. It's the only thing.
Also, in computing, you don't have actual randomizing, like really randomizing.
I know. Yeah, but that's the only... They can really replicate other styles really well, but the watercolor style is the only one that all of the programs I looked at, and I looked at many of them, and I'm not the only artist looking, that they all struggle with. And that would I maybe be a marker person or something, I would probably use digital art more. But I'm not, so I'm using it once in a while. And I'm using that program mainly to do my thumbnails, funny enough. So yay, I use it so many times a week, but not for drawing per se.
Which is kind of a shame, considering how well this went here. I think it's just my 2 cents on that. I know your
We
point.
already said once we have a great joke or a great pun that is worth a comic, we're gonna make a comic or a cartoon or something just for the giggles for us. So, I mean, I made comic strips for a few haikus that we had at Cards Against Humanity.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So that happened, but it's not something that would win over using other media. And for that, I don't have enough time to.
No, it's medium on its own. Definitely,
Exactly.
I get that, and I feel the same about that. Would I have to decide whether to only use digital or traditional media? I would have a problem. I would really very much have a problem. I would enjoy the benefits of having only one thing and only needing that one thing and having all the different styles in there. And I would enjoy, just sitting in my usual spot where I also play my video games and stuff. But I would be missing some things like the smell of the oil or the, blurring of the watercolor and
the texture of the paper.
Yes, I would be missing some of those things.
Exactly.
So I'm glad I don't have to make that decision, actually.
I'm going to make you choose.
No,
I would never do that. That is punishment, folks.
Yes.
That would be torture. And we don't go with that here. Nope. No way. Nope. That would be really torture. I'm absolutely with you there. No way. But
but I'm really, really happy we finally came to try this because we were planning ahead like 20 episodes.
Yeah. We had it on our list for a long time.
Yeah.
But we waited for the right game to come up with a story that could fit in 5 panels or in panels equal to the number of the episode, and that would have a pun in the end. And well, I told it to you before, and I'm going to tell the audience as well. I always trust my hubby with coming up with the puns. He's really good with a simple storyline and then a pun in the correct panel or in the right panel. And this one is on him because he actually played the orange dude. So that's another funny layer to add.
Yes.
again, that
So
also
I
made
think
me giggle.
we make a great team with,
Yes,
with the.
we do.
That's awesome. Yeah. Next thing is children's books.
Oh, gosh. Don't.
Oh,
Don't.
Daniel would tell so nice children's stories.
I know.
You would just
I know.
illustrate them.
I know. I know. Well, if once we have figured out how to have a 48-hour day and
my gosh,
10-day weeks, we can definitely approach that idea.
Yes.
Otherwise, we have to be in retirement already to actually have the chance at having enough hours in the day to do the projects.
Right now, I don't even have a clue how retirement would feel.
Like a normal, like what other people say would be a work day, because you would just be in the studio and then you would be at the computer gaming and then you would be at the desk having dinner and then having board games and then you go to bed and sleep. And the next day, it's going to be the same thing all over
Wait,
again.
who has such work days? She's putting her hand up. I'm not okay with that. No, I am okay with that. You know that, but
I know.
I just want to, fuss a little.
Oh.
Just for the sake of fussing.
Yes.
Because I can do that really good.
Yeah, well, everybody has a talent. Sorry, I had to.
Thank you.
I had to.
I love you too.
You did serve that on the silver
I did.
platter.
Admittedly, I did. So on this one, you chose the colors a little different from what the actual model looked like. Was that
Not like what part?
it had a little more beige or whitish facial things?
That was on the first dude. I made him more pinky. That one actually I hit pretty close to home. But the other one, the one with the pickelhaube, I don't know what the word is, but probably
I think it's actually I think we don't really have a term for that. So.
the Prussian military soldier hat.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's pickelhaube in other languages.
Well, pickelhaube will probably make them think of pickles. Pickled food. And now I want to put a pickle on there. Yeah, you too.
Me too. Me too.
We should post-edit that.
We can make memes of our own comic strips. Adding
If
pickles
no one
and
else
stuff.
does it, we do.
Folks,
my gosh.
make a meme with a pickle, please. Indulge us, please.
Awesome. I would love to see that.
Oh, me too. I would probably.
I mean, it's pretty much asking for the pickle.
Definitely. There's so many places where it would fit.
And now, German lesson of the day. If you tell a German he has a pickle, that's meaning you tell him he has a zit or a pimple.
Yeah.
Which is quite not as delicious as your way of
No, I like the gherkins more. That's true.
gherkins. Did you just say gherkins?
Yeah, that's actually the
Really?
Gewürzgurke.
Really? What?
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome.
I know.
Oh my gosh. We just call them spicy cucumber. Yeah, German is a very pragmatic language, I guess.
There's spice, there's a gherkin, there's a cucumber. Let's not make a new name for it. Just put the two together. That's German, folks.
Yep.
We're not very, very
Inventive, but it makes language quite easy. If you don't know the connected term, just make it up.
Yep.
Everyone will get what you mean.
Yeah, and it might be a trend. Who knows?
Oh my gosh, I want to make that a thing in English. Just, combine words, make a new meaning.
That's awesome. I wonder if we do that to often get the hang of it and have it like a habit if we then, when we're in the States later this year, if we talk like that and everybody's like, oh, those goddamn bad Germans, they cannot
I
even
only talk
English.
gibberish. Awesome.
That looks like ketchup to me.
Yes, ketchup and mustard.
Also called explosion.
Well, you needed the contrast there for the background, so awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And we're almost done. Kaboom! Kaboom! I just need the shadow of the kaboom. Very subtle. And then we need the speech bubbles.
Where you already said you struggled with it.
Yeah, because the tail didn't attach. It had these thought bubbles, and I couldn't get the speech bubble balloon tail. And it just... I clicked the right button, but for whatever reason, the program just said, fuck you, I'm not gonna comply. I'm just... Nah. But... yeah, I just hit it over and over and over again, and then at one point...
they are trying different backgrounds. That's interesting as well.
Yeah, I wanted to have some grass or some ground that they would stand on, and I actually liked the first one with the leaves, but I couldn't scale it.
Really? So, there was a button there.
Yeah, there was too much random leaf going somewhere if I had it too big, but if I had it too small, it would be a solid line instead of the leaves.
So you would just have to adjust the spots, the small ones, and there was also somewhere there was. I think in the little tab over there was another option for that. But
very possible. But
if we ever had to do that again,
I'm just gonna take this. I'm gonna choose you, Pikachu, to be the ground that we stand on. No, just kidding. Oh my god. We're in a good mood.
Well, we are also a bit hangry, so that might be why Pikachu has to suffer.
You are. I'm post-dinner.
Oh, all right. I forgot about that.
But I could have a second dinner.
Me being hungry makes me already assuming you are hungry as well for some reason.
I can always snack. So that was the very special 50th episode. We hope you enjoyed watching along. If you have any questions or comments, as per usual, leave them in the comment section below. The print will be available very, very soon, in like an hour. Hit up the webpage. It's in the description box below, pinselgeschichten.de. You can get the digital file for printing, and we will see you in 2 weeks with a new Draw for Initiative. Take care, have fun, visit us at Board Game Geek at the Geek List. Meanwhile, talk to us there or any other social media where you can find us. Have fun, folks. Take good care. Bye.